You'll get your rent when you fix this damn door!
Yes. Fix this damn door. Okay, typical maneuver. Let's go ahead and do the Affinity CPU fix. So the game actually runs as intended. And then I guess we're gonna make our way back to North America. I'm gonna sail over this route, I think. Yeah, let's take the southern part, because it's like closer to our level in general here, area-wise. But it's gonna be quite a journey. I make my own natural disasters. And he's pretty proud of it.
Proud on every inch of sand. Enough, man. Who's the royal?
And we were fishing off Hazel Line, shooting and hauling and trolling all night in that windy old weather, stormy old weather. When the wind blows, we'll all pull together. When up jumped a herring, the queen of the sea, says now, oh,
What chase boat caught again? Boat? I see no boat here. Do you? I only see a ship. It's called the Morrigan. That's kind of funny because at the end of Black Flag, you know, when Edward is talking to his daughter, Jennifer, she's kind of like saying something about the boat. And Edward is kind of being like, boat? I see no boat here.
spots on his side, says not much longer these seas you can ride in the windy old weather.
Edward definitely takes it personal if someone calls the Jackdaw a boat.
And
We should count ourselves lucky to sail these waters.
as a mile,
But yeah, Shay's ship is called the Morrigan.
close my eyes and dream of warm Nassau.
That is true, Saint. Yeah. Yeah, there's that shield, and that shield also has a very interesting symbol on it. I'm not sure how that symbol is exactly called right now, but it's the symbol for uniting like body, soul, and mind or something like that. Like if everything comes together. There's also another thing with Rogue. Shay actually has a medallion on his waist. That medallion looks a lot like the Order of the Ancients, kind of like coins or whatever that you collect in Valhalla. You know, with the kind of like Tree of Life symbol on there. But they never really made like a definitive connection there to Shay, I guess, with Valhalla. So I guess it was a bit of a missed opportunity, maybe. But they look super similar, like almost exactly the same. That's true, yeah. That's another thing with Morrigan. They kind of like talk about this in this game as well, about it. It's like a kind of like goddess of like fallen warriors or something. In connection to like death. They kind of make like a comment about how it's fitting for Shay, I guess. That's pretty interesting. I have to have another look at the shield to look for the signs. Yeah, it's also the loading symbol for Valhalla. You know that little kind of like symbol on the bottom right, I think it is? That's the same symbol actually. It's kind of like spinning, I guess, but it's still kind of like shaping to be the same symbol once the loading's cycle has finished, I guess. Of War, Fate, and Death, often depicted as a shapeshifter, can transform into a crow or raven. She appears on battlefields to influence outcomes, incites warriors, and foretells doom, sometimes by washing the bloodstained clothes of the doomed. She's sometimes viewed as a single goddess and sometimes as a trio of sisters. Bedeb, Matcha, and Nemain. 3 Sisters of Valhalla, perhaps a connection there. I didn't actually think of it. But now that you say it, yeah, it's 3 sisters. I mean, who knows? Would be interesting if the names of the sisters in Valhalla have like a deeper meaning. Maybe translating to one of the 3. Or the meaning of, you know, the other 3 names. You know, one thing that always annoys me a little bit in Rogue is that early on exploration is kind of like really not encouraged. Because a lot of the activities don't unlock until like sequence 3 or so, like once you join the Templars. You know, here like it's like progress further. But by the time you're like in sequence 3 or 4, you're already like halfway through the game. Or at least the main story. So pacing wise, you know, that's another thing with Rogue. That's the ones Saint, yeah. Yeah, the daughters of Larian. The daughters of Larian are a different reference, if I remember correctly. That's fair. I mean, Larian is definitely a real historical character, I think.
These waters are full of enemies.
I think we did investigate a little bit about it when I played Valhalla.
Then he'll raise hands high and now he'll cry, thank Christ I'm homeward. When his money's all gone, it's the same old song. Get up, Jack, don't sit down.
Hostile warship on our heels! Schooner by the rigging! Royal Navy! Just that ship, Captain! We're clear, Captain. Batten that down, pistol light.
As I walked out on Broadway one evening in July, I met a maid who asked me trade in a sailor shot. Said I, it's no way you Annie, my dear Annie. Oh, you New York girl, can't you dance the polka? To Tiffany's I took her, I did not mind expense. I bought her 2 gold earrings and they cost me 50 cents. And it's no way you Sandy, my dear Annie.
DC Shandies are so chill. And it's not just because we're traveling in the North Atlantic icy cold either.
Yet I do sailor, now see me how you may. But when we reached the cottage door, she unto me did say, and it's no way.
It's pretty cool though that we have some new shanties in this game. I mean, we of course have some from Black Flag, but there's also tons of new ones.
My flashman, he's a Yankee, with his hair cut short behind. He wears a pair of old sea boots, he's a fool with his back side. And it's no way, you Sandy, my dear.
All in the sunset!
Young girl,
Time for machine gun. It's kind of ridiculous, but fun. Do Saint, yeah, there's definitely shanties in Rogue, but you have to collect the same way as in Black Flag. Okay, time for Moneta.
Loose main sails! Fire!
Materials you have aboard can improve the ship, Captain.
Race! Fire! Fire! Bring them in!
Much booty was plundered. Indeed. It's a pretty good money source early on. That you can salvage enemy ships for, you know, extra money. Like 1k can be quite a difference.
Mains out! Let's go!
They're awfully close, sir!
Twas a cold and dreary morning in December, and all of me money it was spent. And where it went, I swear I can't remember. So down to the shipping office I went. Paddy lay back, taking your sack. Take a turn around the captain, heave a fall. About ship's name. Around about the rise, around the hall.
Shipwreck cargo here, sir!
So there's 3 locations here in Percy that I can't do yet because they're locked behind progress.
Danger's behind us.
Paddy lay back, taking your sack. Take a turn around the captain, heave a pole. About ship's stations, boys, be handy. We're bound for Valparaiso around the hall. Well, I joined her on a cold December morning. A flapping of me flippers to keep warm. With the south cone hoisted as a warning. To stand by the coming of a storm. A Paddy lay back, taking your slack. Take a turn around the captain, heave the pole. About ship's station, boys, be handy. We're bound for Valparaiso around the hall. Well, I woke up in the morning, sipping
South the gallants and rhymes! Studs out! Let's get moving! Fire!
Ready to hit them, sir!
Fire! Fire!
Ready to splash, sir!
Fire!
fuck? Physics.
Fire! Fire! Loose now! Back some way! On there! Shed take it! Feed! Loose and trim too!
We've enough cargo to approve the ship, Captain.
You young sailor, then listen to me. I'll sing you a song of the fish in the sea and its wind.
Careful! It's quite a rough squall, Captain.
Back to the River Valley.
Crowd it all on!
Loose tops and royals.
I did, yeah. Yeah, Mark Alexis Cote, I think was his name. I wasn't too sad about him leaving, to be honest. Since he was one of the main guys at Ubisoft Quebec that also stood for, in my eyes, a few questionable decisions in regards to Assassin's Creed. And he was the de facto franchise boss of Assassin's Creed as well. So yeah, I wasn't too sad about him leaving the position for another one to fill. Hopefully someone who cares more about Assassin's Creed, but I mean, that's questionable if, you know, it's gonna be.
Northerly wind it has blown.
He was head on Freedom Cry. That could be, yeah. Considering that Freedom Cry was like the second main project that Ubisoft Quebec worked on by their own. But yeah, they made Tyranny of King Washington, and then Freedom Cry, and then Syndicate, Odyssey, and Shadows. But Freedom Cry I really enjoyed though, and I also really like Syndicate. But yeah, Odyssey, Shadows, and Tyranny were special. They should hire you. Yeah, maybe. Maybe some people out of our community. I should probably hire Rod as well. For the voice actor synchronization casting. The Albany region was originally inhabited by the Algonquian tribes, in particular the Mohicans and the Iroquois. Albany was claimed by the Dutch explorer Henry Hudson in 1609 and was settled in 1614, and trading posts were created soon after. The British took control of the area in 1664 and renamed the town of Beverwyck as Albany. As tensions rose between England and France, troops were gathered at Albany to attack the enemy colonies to the north. Colonel William Johnson rallied his allies in the Iroquois Confederacy in Albany and convinced them to declare war against the French. The British Lords of Trade suggested that the colonies meet in Albany to discuss their common defense. It was at this meeting that Benjamin Franklin first proposed a union between the colonies. I'm more of a fan of the British Lords of Time, if you know what I mean. Okay, cool for you. Definitely sounds like some drastic changes there to Assassin's Creed. But it's a vision, so I respect that. Alright, for this next mission we're jumping into July. More specifically the 4th of July, 54.
You're here. Congress is still in session. George Washington and his militia have fired on French troops under Jumonville. The French are calling it an act of war.
George Washington. You mean Lawrence's younger brother?
Yeah, it's the same. Speaking of Lawrence Washington, since you eliminated him, James Wardrop has moved up in ranks. All the Templar resources are at his disposal now.
What about the manuscript?
My sources in New York confirm that Wardrop has it. I also learned that he is here at the Congress under heavy guard.
Shay, find Wardrop. Get that manuscript.
This place is thick with Templar troops. Liam and I will make sure he doesn't escape.
Ah yeah, so I guess that answers your question there from earlier, Afro. I mean, not sure if that's a confirmation of Templar Grandmaster, I guess, but definitely confirms that he, you know, took the position, James Wardrop, of Lawrence Washington, and that the resources are at his disposal for now.
Who's he? Never heard of him.
The Albany City Hall. Albany's first city hall was built by the Dutch in the 1660s. It is speculated that the British replaced that city hall with a larger building on the same site around 1740, but it was still referred to by the Dutch name Stadhuis.
I make my own luck.
In 1754, the Stadhuis was the site of the Albany Congress, where Benjamin Franklin first proposed the union of the 13 British colonies. Hello Vermita, welcome in, dude. I make my own luck. How's it going, dude? I hope you had a good rest of your stream today with Origins. Was lurking on you earlier.
Ah, that must be the Templar William Johnson.
William Johnson. Was born in Ireland, but as a Catholic found himself with few opportunities in the British Empire. In 1738 he converted to Protestantism and arrived in the colonies to work for his uncle. Johnson quickly went into business for himself and became heavily involved in trading with the local natives, particularly the Carnian Kahaka. He gained the respect of the Iroquois people by learning their language and respecting their customs. Johnson was appointed as New York's agent to the Iroquois and was instructed to equip colonists and natives for a campaign against the French. Johnson was inducted into the Templars by Lawrence Washington, and the two worked together in secret to build an infrastructure for the order in the colonies. I'm doing well, thank you, Amita. It was a pretty busy day over here, but yeah, now it's time to chill and play a bit more AC. I'm gonna call it quite soon after this mission vote for today, but yeah, it was definitely good to do like a bit more progress. We're kind of like jumping back and forth between AC3 and Rogue today, between the journey of Haven and you know, Shay doing his stuff. But it's kind of fun though, to play like one game and then half an hour another one. Oh, very nice, dude. That's great to hear. Definitely sounds like you made really good progress with the start of Curse of the Pharaohs. How do you like replaying that one? So ironically, Curse of the Pharaohs is made by the same people that also made AC Rogue. Same studio.
He has the manuscript, or knows where it is.
As I have stated previously, I believe we need a national union, granted by an act of parliament, but bringing greater independence to our colonies. The French are an immediate threat, and we are ill prepared to face them. To put it bluntly, the colonies must join, or die.
A rousing speech, Master Franklin. But do you truly believe Great Britain will grant her colonies autonomy?
They have little choice, Master Johnson. You know the remoteness of this frontier better than most.
Yes, but let us leave politics for another day. I wanted to thank you for your research.
Of course, of course. In the brief time I could examine that box, I could tell it was something unique. From ancient Egypt, you said? Well, as I mentioned in my letter, I am quite ready to electrify it.
Excellent. We will have the box delivered shortly. As for the manuscript... Captain?
I apologize, sir, but Master Wardrop refused to hand it over. He said the risks were too great.
The risks? Ah. I apologize. You will have the manuscript and the box in the briefest of delays. You mangy excuse for a uniform. Run to Fort Frederick and tell Master Wardrop he had better cough up the manuscript post-haste. Else I will have him scalped.
Well, I guess James Wardrop isn't so high on the Templar ranking after all.
I can't let that lobster captain reach Wardrobe.
It's nice getting back to it. The Afterlife sections are so beautiful and the music overall is also really good. Absolutely. Yeah, I quite like what they've done with the Afterlife sequences and, you know, exploring a bit of the mythology and the older, you know, pharaohs. Join or die, yeah, re-rousing. Yeah. It's like, I guess I have a choice then. Yeah, it's always odd, you know, hearing Adevale's voice actor here. But yeah, he voiced a couple, like, NPC characters across the games too. But it's definitely, you know, funny hearing him as like a stereotypical, like, British officer or whatever. Adevale joined the Templars. He's double-siding the Assassins and the Templars. Benjamin Franklin was born in Boston, the 10th son of a soap maker. While apprenticing for his brother, a printer, he gained fame as a writer, working under the pseudonym Mrs. Silence Dogood. In 1723, Franklin moved to Philadelphia and continued his career in printing and writing, as well as other odd jobs. In 1725, he visited the Royal Society of London for scientific experiments. Upon his return to the colonies, Franklin became a true polymath. He created the Junto, a discussion group for issues of the day that inspired many other intellectual societies. In 1732, he created one of the first subscription libraries in the colonies, and the following year began to publish his famous Poor Richard's Almanac. Over a decade later, he began his experiments with electricity, using it to create and improve devices such as the capacitor and the Leyden jar. His political writing began to gain attention, and in 1754, Franklin attended the Albany Congress to discuss the conflict with the French colonies, as well as tensions with the Iroquois nation. He proposed a unified government to organize the colonies and created a political cartoon with the motto, "Join or Die." Although the unification was accepted by the delegates of the conference, it was rejected by the British Board of Trade. Franklin took several political trips to England to represent colonial interest. Although he initially fought for the rights of colonists as British
citizens,
he concluded that independence was the true solution. Franklin contributed writing to the Declaration of Independence and was present at its signing on July 4th, 1776. For the remainder of the American Revolution, Franklin lived in Paris as the American ambassador to France. Amita, you decided to fight the pharaohs with the same weapons that they are using. You defeated Nefertiti using double swords. That's really cool. They're kind of like mirroring them. It's like, who's gonna be the master of the dual swords of a, you know, kind of like spear? That's a cool idea to kind of like go that route. Subscription library. Here's the reason for all the damn game OTT passes. Yeah, he definitely was an innovator, alright. Maybe too much of an innovator.
George, I think we need a strong...
I just want to check if there's any objective here, but no. Just kill the messenger.
Now to wardrobe with the manuscript.
Okay, we gotta kill Wardrop again with an air assassination. This will probably be a bit harder. Could be, yeah. Guess it kind of depends what weapon type is also kind of like getting you in the groove, I guess. There's definitely some that I feel like can get around with easier sometimes than others. Quite like that soundtrack here, actually. It actually has some trap elements, ironically. But not quite in your face as, you know, for example, the Shadow soundtrack.
Look sharp, Doctor. Good. Keep an eye out. done, soldier. Do not stop on my behalf. Again, young man, we will make a soldier out of you.
Surprise.
I'll take that, you Templar dog.
No! You have no idea what you're doing, fool!
Keeping the people free from your control.
How free will you be when the French undermine these squabbling colonies?
These colonies would be far better off without the Templars pulling the strings.
We bring order from chaos. If everything is permitted, no one is safe.
Even the devil can quote scripture to suit his own purposes.
Need your eyes and legs to get to the bottom of this. Or we'll get him, lads! Faster! We'll not be losing it!
Just want to check if there's another objective, but no. Rogue's soundtrack is criminally underappreciated. Yeah, I think it's actually quite decent, for sure. I wouldn't say it's like one of my favorites necessarily in the AC series, but I do still like it. And there's some really good pieces in there that I actually love. But it's cool they promoted, relatively unknown composer, Eliza Alexandrova. She was also Bulgarian, I think. So like from around the same place where the studio of Ubisoft Sofia is based. So it's definitely cool that they, got a composer from a country also to be in the game. You love that line? The, if everything is permitted, then no one is safe line? Yeah. I do kind of like it, but at the same time, it's the typical kind of like generalizing view about the Creed, you know? Because that's always where the Creed kind of gets in trouble when people are like, yeah, like, for example, Edward, right? When he's, dealing with the assassins at the start, and he's kind of like, I actually kind of like the Creed, because everything is permitted. And it kind of says it to the assassin mentor, right? It's like, is that not your motto? Everything is permitted. But then later in the game, he's actually getting more in depth into it, and he's getting another understanding of what that means. It means no one can tell you not to do something. You are the author of your own story. You make your own decisions. You are free to do as you please, but doesn't mean it gives you reason to do anything that you want just out of egoistical spite or, benefit. Because the assassins are not standing for like chaos, right? They don't want everyone to just do as they please, and because if they actually took that literally, then they couldn't really have any issues with the Templars either, right? Because they're like free to do, what they want to do, because everything is permitted, I guess. Or even the devil can quote scripture to suit his own needs one. Ah, that one too. Yeah, that one I also quite like. Yeah, Shay definitely has some pretty good one-liners. Especially...
I make my own luck.
That one. Goes hard as fuck. Lisa also did the music for Pharaohs. That's true. I'm not sure if she also did the soundtrack for the Dawn of Ragnarok DLC. I still haven't played that one, so I'm not sure if she did or not. Because that's like the recent game by Ubisoft Sophia, or DLC I should say. But yeah, so that finishes the next mission, We the People. Which means the next mission will take place again in AC3, with the arrival in Boston and the entirety of Sequence 2 really in Boston. You know, Haven meeting his Templar associates and all that. But we won't be doing that tonight anymore though. We're gonna dedicate the next stream to that primarily. And yeah, then we're definitely getting into the first exploration parts of AC3 finally. It's quite interesting, you know, how much we already did in Rogue, for instance, and how it throws you like immediately into the open world and all that. And AC3 likes to take its sweet time. It's kind of like polar opposites, you know, like Rogue really wants you to rush into the game because of how short the main story is. And then, you know, AC3 is like, yeah, play through these 6 sequences. Basically play through the amount of sequences Rogue has before the game actually kind of like, you know, starts with all the mechanics. And even then, you don't have all the mechanics unlocked in the game. But I actually don't mind that with AC3. You know, I like that it takes its time because I think it adds more weight to the targets and the Connor's backstory and all that. Looking at her works, Rogue was her first big project. I gotcha, yeah. Did she do like any other big projects besides AC since then? But yeah, so this is gonna be everything I will be doing for tonight in this stream. Now we are at 11% total sync progress. And yeah, that's what we're gonna continue next time, but it will be a while until the next stream though, because as I said, I will be gone from Friday to Monday, then also have a pretty busy week coming up again, so it probably won't be a stream until Wednesday or Thursday. But we're gonna see how it goes and how busy I actually am. No worries for the stream. Thank you for being here, Aura and Chilla and Demita and Afro and everyone else who's still in here watching. She hasn't done any game stuff since Pharaohs. Huh. It's kinda sad. But I guess she was really like tied to the Ubisoft Sophia studio there. But yeah, let me quit to Windows here, even though that music is actually quite nice. Even if it's based on, you know, Ezio's theme. But yeah, let's listen to that again. Thank you, Aura. Definitely will. I hope you guys also have a great weekend. Catch you next time, Lucinda. Thank you also so much for being here. Hope the rest of work goes well for you and that it stays chill. before we go and raid out, I want to give some shoutouts to Amita, who's been playing AC Origins. He's doing his second playthrough with a New Game Plus run. Lucinda, who's playing Dying Light The Beast currently, also doing a partial playthrough of Days Gone, and she also recently played some Resident Evil. Sheila, who's been playing some of the Dark Pictures anthology with House of Ashes. And there was also another game that you were looking forward to playing, IRA in Isolation. You're gonna do your first ever playthrough of that game, so that's gonna be cool. I'm in a bear suit. He's playing lots of retro games currently on original hardware. So right now he's doing some GameCube games, I think, still, with Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. And also check out Jay, who's been playing his first ever playthrough of Ghost of Tsushima. Playing lots of like narratively driven games at the moment, and yeah, there's definitely been some goldies there between, you know, that game and the Spider-Man games and Uncharted, and yeah, some really good ones. So definitely also check out Jay if you haven't yet. And that's no worries for the shoutouts whatsoever. Thank you guys again for being here. And yeah, we're gonna raid out to Maxi, our good friend. He's doing currently a playthrough of Plague Tale Requiem. It's his first time ever playing for the game, and earlier this year he also played the first game, Plague Tale Innocence. And those are also two games we actually played as part of our historical auto run. They took place around 1350 actually, during the Great Plague of Europe. So definitely also a very interesting setting, even though of course, you know, there's plenty of fantastical elements in that game too. But yeah, it's a great game, so definitely recommend checking that out if you haven't yet. And if you want to join us with a raid, then feel free to copy and paste these raid emotes here as well. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next week for the continuation of AC3 and eventually Rogue. Until then, hope you have a good start into the weekend, and until next time.